and then we'll share screen. Just share screen, and let's just go through these pairs very quickly. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me. I know it's quite late. The recording will be there if you want it. So OrdCAD, I've got, that's a bit slow to load because I've got quite a few tabs open. I've got nothing on this one. As you can see, it's right out in the middle of nowhere for me. I haven't got any pitchforks. That was a second pitchfork. So if you are looking to this, that was a D point on the 13th of January. So it looks like it's might be rejecting off that quarter theory and maybe coming back up because the 62 is pointing back up. But I've got nothing on that one myself. So I'm just going to close these down as I go. I have got some favorites to go through. Ord JPY was my next one. Where has it gone? Well, maybe I closed it. Oh, sorry. Ord JPY's come up. I do beg your pardon. Australian dollar, Japanese yen. If you go back to the hourly, this was a scan with a D point, which was the 14th of around about the 14th of November. So you can see it's respected the pitchforks very well. It's gone right back up, back past the median, come all the way back down. Obviously, news hits sometimes. Let's go to the 1 minute. So it's an upward scan, but I'm waiting for it to come back into the extensions, which are these two unbroken white lines. So no trades for me at the moment. But if you were looking at it, you can see that the 62 is still coming down to quarter theory. It'll probably, don't know what it'll do because I'm not on a scan on it, but maybe come back round, which won't happen now till the next session, and I'm waiting for it to come back up into these extensions. So I've put the brush mark and I put the trend, the alert there on the pitchfork, the extensions with the quarter theory. Ord, let me close that one down. So I've got nothing on that for me. Ord NZD here. You can see that it was a downward scan, and that was round about New Year's Eve. And then if we go to the 1 minute, so this is in session at the moment. I'm not trading at the moment. Obviously, I try and do my chart setups about, I don't always manage it, about 6 or 8 hours before I want to actually trade. And I find that most effective. So on the 1 minute chart, I have set, this is in session now, I have set a trend line there. I'm not trading now, though I've decided I do not do Asian session anymore. But what I liked about this one, although the 62 is pointing down again, but it's probably rejecting off that pitchfork, is that you've got quarter theory and a pitchfork there. So if it breaks through that, then that's a good strong buy. But it is in a downward scan, but as it's come through the median, then it is fair game for a buy or a sell. So, you know, you can see that the 62 has been underneath the 15 minute for quite some time. So it could well do this instead. Down here. Sorry, I've done that wrong. Just do it again here, like this. A break, sorry, not drawn very well, but a break and a retest off that pitchfork. So that's all I've got on Ord NZD. That's GBP NZD going off. I just set them up because I wanted to show you some things, but obviously I'm not trading a GBP pair at this time of night. CAD JPY. Where's CAD JPY? just, I don't want to bring up more pairs. I have got them open, but I've got so many, they've overlaid each other. And I've just moved rooms, so I haven't set up the other computer yet. CAD JPY, it's come right out. I mean, obviously you've got a gap because the market's just opened again, but I've got nothing here. It's right outside my last pitchfork. So no trade at all. I can't say anything about CAD JPY at the moment. I don't have anything. CHF, Swiss franc JPY, which is this one. I'm not trading it. I just marked it up to show you. In fact, I think with this one, this was a pitchfork that, did we draw this one? Chance might have drawn this one because we didn't have a scan. If it is a, I think this, I can't remember now. Let me just take the pivots off. Yes, this is a pitchfork that Chance drew, so it will be valid, it will be accurate. That's right back from the 18th of May. So how do you tell if you can keep your old pitchforks? Just double check, see how they have respected, see how price has respected the pitchfork if you're in doubt. So it's respected all the way along there and up there, which you know is and here. So you know it's still looking like it's, and here all along here it's respected it on the extensions, and there. So it is a good. I need to put the magnet on. I think I've locked everything on anyway. So what have we got on this? So JPY is in session at the moment, but you know I don't like to start. I do look at I am on trading Monday mornings, but you're just waiting for the markets to warm up really. So the 62's come under the 15 and we've got the gap because the markets have just opened. It's now under a pitchfork, so it's still heading down. And I've made a note to look at this for a sell, but obviously you can't tell a lot at the moment. So what I will do is I'll move all my, that's me saying break and retest off that pitchfork. That's what you're looking for. A break and retest, preferably of 10 pips. So it's market, so well that has done 12, it said, and you can see how it's stalling out. I know the markets have only just opened, but that's very strong indication for a sell on that. So I'm just going to put a note against that. But as I say, not my time of day to trade, so I'll close that one down. Euro AUD is my next one. They were along here. Euro Australian dollar. I put buy if it's above quarter theory, but some of them, you know, I'm not so sure on. I'll just show you what it looks like looking out at what. I don't know why my magnet keeps coming off. Where was this? Just let it settle down a minute. So it's off a D point back in July. It's come back into this, which is why I've changed this to white, which is when I'm looking at that scan. So it must have been down in. I don't know why I haven't got. Why I haven't got any others. No, sorry, it wasn't down in anything else. It's just that's the last scan I happen to have on it. So let's look at the 15-minute. So we've got the 62 running. What I liked about this, but you have got a pitchfork in the way and quarter theory, is that the 62 is just looking like it wants to come above the 15-minute EMA. If you go to the 1 minute, it is now above. So it crossed on is that Friday? It crossed and it stayed above. So that's that I've put buy when it's above quarter theory. You can't tell if it's had a break and a retest. That's all off this pitchfork because of the market opening with that gap, and the market will always want to close that gap. You know, anyway, that's what it's looking like it's doing. Euro CAD, just close that one down. Euro CAD. Euro CAD 1 hour, just to show you where we are. It's a downward scan, but actually off some time ago. It's moved back. It's moved back into this one. Right back here, which was back in August. So let's have a look at it. So go down to the 15-minute on Euro CAD. That will have been news. So there's quite a lot of news, and then it's come back down there. So it's come along quarter theory. It has stalled right along the extension of that pitchfork, and now it's above quarter theory, although, as I say, the markets have only just opened. But if you look on the 1 minute, the 62's crossed the 15 and it's above quarter theory. So that's a very nice situation for a buy. And indeed, you see it's moved up already, but you know, up to you. I'm not trading at the moment, but very nice sort of confirmations for a buy on that at the moment. So I mean, it could possibly, you know, I don't know, that you've got the pitchfork, first pitchfork there, which is only 6 pips away, but obviously it's you know, going to make it up to there. But if it gets past 1.45219 thereabouts, call it 220 on that pitchfork, then it should carry on that upward trajectory to 1.45500, and if it breaks through that, then it's 1.45560 to that next pitchfork. But neither of those are actually in session at the moment, so you know, who knows how much more it will do before London. So that's Euro CAD, Euro JPY. Euro JPY, I've got a note as a sell. So we've got it's in this downward scan. Come back into that from that's back in October. Just make a note of that. Go to the 15-minute. There's the gap. That's why I don't like holding trades over the weekend, and I don't hold them overnight. It's just not my preferred style. I don't like that, coping with that. I know you make it up on the pips, etc., but I stay within the day framework, preferably half hour or hourly, in and out of a trade, sometimes 4 hours if I haven't timed it properly. Right, what I liked about this one was all that the 62s under the 15s, all that lovely stalling out along quarter theory and a pitchfork. Absolutely superb little trade setup. Not the right time for me to trade, but that's JPY is in session, and indeed here's the market open gap. It's now breaking and retesting that. So if it's going to come below quarter, I don't know why that's sticking because of that. Then you could, if that goes back up to the pitchfork. And personally, I wouldn't want to get into it until it's below 1.120 flat, because that's the quarter theory, and then it should be running down. You can see the steep 62 should be running down to the next quarter theory at 119,500. So that's Euro JPY. Next, Euro NZD. Which is this one, sorry. 15-minute chart. So it's come back into, what about the notes? So I've written, it's a downward scan. I've put buy, but I don't know, obviously. That's 100%. So it's a downward, this is the 15th of Jan. Nice big scan. It's worked its way all down to the medians. That means for me, it's a fair gain for a buy or a sell. And if we come to the 1 minute, and I've shown you that it could go either way. So a break and a retest up of that pitchfork to quarter theory at 1.68, or a rejection of that pitchfork and down to 1.67. And at the moment, the market open 62 saying it's buying, so it's crossed above, it's just crossed above. And NZD, New Zealand dollar, is in session. It's crossed above and it is on its way now up through quarter theory to that pitchfork. And that is 16 pips away, so there is a little scalp there if you wanted it. I don't want to get into trading at the moment, but that looks quite nice. I think that's one of my favorites. Euro USD, I've put as a buy. It's a downward scan. I can't remember when the scan was from. It was from 10th of January. Let's go to the 1 minute, see what we've got. So it's a selling scan, and we've got the 62 staying underneath the 15-minute. It has, have we got a, I can't see where. Let me just go out to the 15-minute. So we've got we have got, I can't see where the market open is, but it must be around about here where the purple lines are. So you're looking for a break and a retest. It's a bit difficult when the markets have just opened because of that gap. Wait a minute, I'll just tidy this up. Stuck on the brush. So you want a break and a retest there. It seems to be doing that. The 62 is coming down. It's staying underneath the 15. So you can see price has come up to test the 15. It's between the 62 and the 15. And now it's coming below the 62. So it is on its way down now. But neither of those pairs are in session. So personally, I wouldn't be trading it, but it is heading down towards 1.10210, that pitchfork there. GBP ORD. GBP CAD, there we are, GBP ORD. This is the H4 new scan, D point rejection for a sell. There's your D point coming up for a rejection, coming up to test that after market open, and then should be clearly down for a sell. And Australian dollar is in session, but you can see at the moment the 62 is still above the 15, which means it's it's retracing. Get rid of that. So what I would be looking for is to wait for it to do that, which it might do in London. That's GBP ORD. GBP CAD. GBP CAD is a new H4 scan. We go to the hourly. A very big scan. So sometimes they don't always retest exactly, but I don't know whether you can see there's a very old pale purple pitchfork. That may be why it wicked out on that pitchfork there, and it had quarter theory and the D point there. But it does seem to have come down quite fast. It's a fast moving page. You need a big stop loss on GBP pairs, and it's come through quarter theory. But the 62 has crossed above. That's on the hourly. Let's see on the 15 minutes what's happening. We've got the 62 seems to be coming down. Now I do like this setup because you've got a stalling out since Friday between the pitchfork and quarter theory, with the 62 pressurizing price down. I've put my alert there. That is the pitchfork that's squeezing it between quarter theory. So price will have to make its mind up what it's going to do. Obviously, I'm assuming it's going to be a sell. Just get that off. So if I go to the 1 minute, and I wouldn't be looking at this till London, but it is one of the favourite ones that I want to look at because of all this stalling out. So I'm liking that to do something like that, I hope. So that's GBP CAD. I'm just going to circle that. That's one of my favourites. GBP JPY. GBP JPY. Upward scan. I'm waiting for it to come back into the extensions. So I've put an alert there up near the second extension because you've got quarter theory there. So I don't want to be getting into that until it does something like this myself. Of course, it could continue to go down because it's a strong downward 62, and it might start going into this next this other scan I think I've got down there, but at the moment I haven't got anything, so nothing for me on. Oh, maybe I should try and find what that other green line is. Let's just see, because it's right. Yeah, I've got a big gap between that and this other. There's several other scans, so I've got at the moment, and there's no new scans. I'll just put it back on the 15 minute and leave that one. Okay. Let's close that. GBP NZD is my next one. I've got that down as a buy, downward scan, but it's hit the median and it's got quarter theory and a pitchfork, so a possible buy. Let me just do it the other way around. Let me go back to 15 minute. There's the scan with the break and the retest off the D point. That's one of my favorite trades to take, although I have been caught out on that where it has continued to make a new head further up and then come back down, particularly on fast moving pairs. I think it was GCAD or something caught me out badly once or twice. So coming down there on the 15 minutes, but we've got the market open. So on the 1 minute, let's have a look what's happening. The 62 is above the 15. That's why my alert's been going off. But it's got to break a pitchfork and quarter theory if it wants to go all the way back up. So I've left my alert under the pitchfork and quarter theory. So this is another favorite setup for me. Although I've put buy down, I'm thinking now I don't want to get involved with this. I'd rather get involved with it as a sell. I don't know why I put buy down for that. So for me personally, I think I'm looking, I want to look at something like that maybe. But that, I do love that because you've got the pitchfork and quarter theory together. So either way, have a look at that one. That's GBP, NZD, GBP, USD. Downward scan. Sorry, it's a new upward scan. I've written this down as a buy. There was the D point, 24th of Jan. Go to the 1 minute. Let it load. So at the moment, it has dropped below. Oh, I don't know if I've got the extensions on. Yes. It looks like it still wants to head on down. So that's very interesting. This could be happening before London. So I'm just wondering now whether it's going to go down to quarter theory, how far that's going to go down before it decides, or even down to the extension. So I think I'm going to put that the other side of that at the moment. So I'm only looking for a buy on my rules anyway, because it's an upward scan, but do with that what you will. Next one's NZD CAD. This is a new 4-hour scan. I've put selling down on this one. I have to say I don't trade this hardly at all. Don't know why really. NZD CAD is, oh, because it only goes at a speed of 2 out of 10, so it probably doesn't suit me. That's why I don't look at it very much. So it's a downward scan from the, oh, quite new, 23rd, 24th of Jan. Let's go back to the 1 minute. It's a downward scan. There's market open. I wasn't sure what this one was going to do, so I've put a trend line either side, but I probably won't trade it anyway. But at the moment, the 62 is well below the 15. It's dropped through the pitchfork, and it's coming down to quarter theory. So if it breaks through, 0.86500, then it wants to carry on down to that pitchfork. So you've got 14 pips, call it 15 pips there happening now on NZD CAD. So that's 15 pips now, but I'm not going to get involved because I'm doing this, and it's not when I want to trade. But NZD is in session. NZD USD, I've got nothing, completely nothing on that. I've done this in yellow. I think I did this in yellow because this might have been, again, it might have been a pitchfork that we drew. Excuse me. Just get rid of that. Yes, it was a pitchfork. So Chance would have drawn that. I wouldn't have known where the hell to draw these things when he does them like this. And he makes sure that there is certain distance, and that goes back to 1st of October. So they've come from a very good source. There's something, but that's why it's in yellow. So on the 1 minute, an NZD USD, that's the speed of 2. So I don't. This isn't one that I trade, but you can see it is dropping. Although it's an upward scan, it's quite old, but it's still very valid. 62 is dropping. It's coming down to where quarter theory and a pitchfork meet. So you've got 23 pips call it 20 after spread and commission, and that's coming down to 0.6500 flat. So that looks like where price is headed right now before it turns. So I'll just put 20 pips there down to PF and quarter. Okay, that's that one. Next one is NZD Chef, Swiss franc. Nothing, no scan. I don't trade this one, and that's because it's speed of 2, and I've never had a scan on it. So I just sort of put that there to show you. I could always ask Chance for one and he'd draw a pitchfork or something, but I'm not that fussed. I've got plenty of other ones. USD, JPY, coming to the end now. USD, JPY, where have you gone here? I've got nothing on this, because I just, why haven't I got anything on this? Can't remember why I wrote that down now. Let's have a look. Put it on the 15 minutes. We've got an upward scan from the 5th of Jan. Price has come right down to the extension. Let's go on the 1 minute. So the reason is because it's coming right to the extensions, yet the 62 is right. Look at that sharp drop. I know we've got the big gap, market open. It's come below quarter theory. It's playing in the extensions. I've put a note there. I just wanted to move that. Oh, I've locked the magnet on. I just want to move that along, because until it does something here and comes back up, I'm not interested in looking at that, because if it drops further down, I don't really know what to do with it. So that's what I'm waiting for on that. So that's going to be probably New York session Monday afternoon. I'll be looking at this. So I probably don't even need that on at the moment, but I'll leave it. So nothing for me on that one. AUD USD, nothing. Nothing till it comes back into the extension for a buy. At the moment, after market open, it's gone right down to quarter theory, but it is an upward scan. So I've put my alert at the extension, see what is happening, what's going to happen there, but I haven't got anything at the moment. CAD Chef. I won't show you CAD Chef because I've got nothing and I've got no scans, which is why I haven't got it up there. NZD JPY. Wait for pitchfork. It's probably a sell, because on the 1 minute, look at that sharp drop on the 62 market open. It's gone right down to quarter theory. So I've marked it as either a sell or a buy, but it's still selling. Both are in session at the moment. So look at what it's doing now at 71.500. See which way it goes, but the 62 is still, going down very sharply, and then price moves between levels. So you're looking for any number of pips for that 25 point between quarter theory and the extension. So I'll just put 25 pips, quarter theory and extension sell. Okay, so that sends the JPY. USD Chef, this one, upward scan, sell as it's hit the median. So it's an upward scan, quite a recent one, 16th of Jan. Let's see where we are on the 1 minute. So it's early days because the market's open. There's the gap there, but it's deciding now that it doesn't want to go. It's an upward scan. It is indeed breaking through quarter theory, and the 62 is turning. So that's and you've got neither of these in session at the moment. So it could just be retesting that 15. You see how, I know it's market open, but you see how it's stalled along the 60, where the 62 meets the 15 EMA. Then it's tried to come down. It's broken through quarter theory. It's coming up to retest that 15, and it probably, this is what you call slippage. It's retesting that, and it's probably going to continue on its way down. So if I put the hull on, which actually is an exit indicator for me, not an entry indicator, but let's just see if it's red, which will show us what price is doing. It says price on the 15-minute, which is that band at the back, although it's green on the 1 minute. It says on the 15-minute it wants to carry on down. And let's just see what it says it wants to do on the hourly. Oh, sorry, that is the hourly. I do beg your pardon. Let's see on the 15-minute. Then it should show it in green. It's green on. It's come green there. So just give it a minute to change. And that has changed. So it still wants to go down. Yeah, there's the 15-minute and the 60-minute is saying price still wants to go down. So I reckon that is. I reckon that's going to do that. And I've left my alert down there. So if it does do that, then there is, wait for it to get through quarter theory. There's 12 pips to the next pitchfork. I'll put 12 pips down to PF on that one. Okay, so up to you. That's, and the last three, USD CAD. USD CAD, very interesting. Quarter theory and pitchfork upward for a buy. So I really like the look of this. So it's a D scan from the 18th of December. Ignore this little one down here. And that must have been used because it just fell off the bottom of the earth. Then it stalled out between the extensions. It followed the 62. And now the 62 has crossed the 15-minute. So on the 1 minute chart, we can see that the 62, neither of these are in session at the moment, but it is on its way up and on its way up through quarter theory. Now I've put mine up there because I would look at this in my session in the afternoon, but I'll just see what it's doing when it hits this trend line and quarter theory, because if it hits those two, then, you know, the sky's the limit, really. It'll go up. It'll, you know, you've got a nice range of pips here. You've got the, I don't know, I need to measure it really, because you've got, I wouldn't go above quarter theory really. You've got 50 pips, 50 pip gap, as you know, between your quarter theories. So I've double marked that one. Really like the look of USD CAD, Canadian dollar. Euro Chef, I've got nothing on Euro Chef. I don't even trade it. I haven't even got a chart set up for it or anything. It's just not one I ever do anything with. And I'm not going to look at all my alerts. And then last one, Euro GBP, D point new scan for a buy. So let's just close that. Euro GBP. Here's the D point there. Now, sometimes price doesn't always go back and test the D point. It can go straight up, which is what it seems to want to do here. That's on the 15 minutes. So that scan is from Friday, 24th. And interestingly, it's coming up to where quarter theory is crossing a pitchfork. So I will be looking at this in London session. So I really like that, because if it gets above that, then it will go up. although Euro GBP is a slow moving pair, it only moves 2. I obviously do like to trade this because I live in France and still, you know, follow GBP a lot. So there's 37 pips between that point, that pitchfork, and there. And quarter theory, you've got 50 pips. So the 62 crossed on Friday. It stalled out along it. We've got market open, and it's still on its way up. So that's so I'm liking the look of that a lot. I've circled that. So my favourites are Euro NZD for a buy, GBP CAD for a sell, NZD CAD, but that's probably now for a sell, USD CAD for a buy, and Euro GBP for a buy. So those are the ones I like the look of, and I've also written down GBP NZD because it's got that quarter theory of pitchfork touching, and that was for a possible buy. So that's everything from me for the chart setups. Let me just see if I can stop the meeting. Stop share. And thank you very much for joining. And I hope you enjoy the replay and that it's helpful to you for your trading this week. And do reach out to me, friend me on Facebook, and join, if you're not a member, join Learn Forex with me, or Teamwork Makes the Dream Work for members only, for scans and setups every week. I'll just stop the recording.